Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Rob Salso. We're here to talk about the severe weather we have ongoing for portions of Tennessee and Kentucky, as well as Alabama. If we look at the NSPC, we do have a slight risk currently for portions of central Tennessee and southern Kentucky. We have one severe thunderstorm and a brief tornado already today. As you can see here, we have a 5% tornado risk that was just actually, I think, updated earlier on. So we're taking a look at that here. We'll be joined by possibly Steven and Joey later on tonight. So we'll be keeping an eye on that for the rest of the evening. For the wind, we have a 15% chance for portions of southern Kentucky. That's going to be, Bowling Green areas south of there. Also, portions of Nashville, Murfreesboro, Franklin, and Henderson, Tennessee. So make sure if you're in these areas, keep an eye on those damaging winds. As for the hail, the threat has diminished, and that's mostly because of these cells that we're starting to see cluster into a line. If we look at the radar here, you can kind of see that. Let me show you. So if you see this yellow box here on the outside, this is your tornado watch that we currently have that was issued a few hours ago. This goes until 10 p.m. for portions of northern Alabama, south central Kentucky, and middle into eastern Tennessee. We have a couple of tornadoes possible, scattered doing gusts up to 70 miles per hour, also possible, as well as isolated large hail up to 1.5 inches in diameter possible. So we're taking a look to see if we have any more developing supercells in the area. Currently, we have no severe thunderstorm warnings at this time. You can just see here, though, we do have a line that is starting to cluster up. These are kind of separated, but they are starting to congeal, and that's because this incoming cold front that's going to push down and bring everything south of it kind of together. You can kind of see that here, even in parts of Nashville. We got some cells over here forming, just near the I-40 corridor along, western Tennessee. So keep an eye on those. We could see some severe weather pop up from those storms possibly later on into the evening. As we look down into northern Alabama, I'm not seeing a whole lot of activity. We might get some moisture in these areas maybe later on tonight. And then if we look at central Alabama, not really seeing a lot either. So our main focus right now is going to be on middle Tennessee. So that's what we have so far. This is kind of the cell we've been watching here for a while now. This is the one that actually produced that brief tornado that we believe was earlier on. That was near the. Let's see, where was that? That was. Give me 1 second here. I gotta find what area that was. Okay, it was just north of Franklin. Is where they thought they saw a tornado, just near the Chestnut Hill area, where they thought they saw that brief tornado touchdown. So we'll hopefully get some information on that later on tonight as we have our team join us here. Let's take a look at the special weather statement that they have out here for this strong thunderstorms. This is going to be impacting DeKalb, north central Warren, and southeastern Wilson counties, and northern Canyon counties in Tennessee till 6:30 p.m. Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm 9 miles northwest of Woodbury, moving east at 40 miles per hour. Wind gusts are now up to 50 miles per hour with still penny-sized hail, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. If you're near the area of Smithville, Woodbury, Dowelltown, Liberty, and Auburntown, you need to be, keeping an eye on this. Rotation-wise, let's go ahead and take a look at the velocity here. Maybe a little bit of broad rotation just north of Woodbury. So, like I said, we're keeping a close eye on that, and we will give you guys an update if we get anything out of this. So, like I said, we're just keeping an eye on it, and yeah. Hope you guys are having a good evening. Besides this storm here, I'm not really seeing. Let's take a look at this right here. Just near the Pleasant View area. Looks like could be something interesting, possibly. Very broad. Maybe some, maybe some decent winds near Gum and Pleasant View. But other than that, I think a lot of these storms are going to be outflow dominant by the time it gets said and done. We do have that cold front that's draping across the south. Now, this is not the big cold front we've been talking about the last couple streams. This is actually the pre-cold front that we're getting. And then there's another cold front, and we can actually see it. Let's go up into... Let's see here. I'm just going to look at this really fast. I'm not going to take very long on this. If we go up to the... Excuse me. If we go up to the Dakotas, we actually could see some snowfall, some light snowfall near the area. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So yeah, as you can see here, looks like we have maybe some light flurries near the Hazen areas, New Salem, possibly even parts of White Shield, Garrison. So we're starting to see that system really starting to develop here, that low that we are looking into here the next couple of days, that will be bringing a lot of cold air down to the southeast. So this is what we're seeing up here in North Dakota. I just wanted to show you that really fast because there is a little bit of light snow in the area right now, and some possibly sleet as well. So there's that. Oh, and looks like we got, what is this? Oh, we got a new Medscale discussion. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so this Medscale discussion that just came out, this is for parts of Middle Tennessee, South Central Kentucky, and far northern Alabama. This concerns a tornado watch 635. The threat continues. Scattered strong severe storms will propagate across the northern half of Weather Watch 635 over the next several hours, with more isolated activity expected across portions of the watch area. So we are expecting to see more severe weather possibly into the overnight hours. Probably going to be more of a wind threat more than anything. Might see a couple more spin-ups in this cluster over here, so we'll be keeping a close eye on that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the full... where's that? Hold on. 1 second, guys. Let's take a look at the full loop here for a minute as we kind of look here. I mean, these storms are moving pretty quick. I mean, if you look, what's the wind speed on these storms? 50 miles per hour. I mean, yeah, these storms are moving pretty fast. So that cold front's really starting to descend down south and move these storms to the east-southeast as we get into the overnight hours here. So something definitely to keep an eye on as you are, going to bed tonight. Maybe you should keep on your alerts if you're in these watch areas. This could be extended for some counties depending on the severe factor. But I honestly don't see this being a big tornado or hail threat for the rest of the night. I possibly could see some pretty decent gusts as this moves to the east-southeast. But like I said, right now, it's looking like it's mostly going to be a conditional wind and tornado threat for the rest of the night. So there is that. So that's what we're looking at right now. That is what we are looking at now. Let's see. Look at this storm right here. I want to see if there's any rotation. Or if it's... Yeah, I mean, like I said, this whole line, you're going to get that... Oh, there's a little bit of rotation right there near... what is that? Blumtown? Pisgah? Yeah. So, like I said, keeping a very close eye on these storms here. I mean, look at that. This looks pretty good. I mean, that's what you want to see for a severe thunderstorm. You have this inflow pocket with the warm advection going into the base of the storm, and a tornado could really be formed in this, storm as we get into the evening. You have this area here also near Bradyville, so definitely going to be keeping a very close eye on those storms as we progress through the evening. So, there is that. Alright, I will be right back, guys. I'm going to go do something really fast. So, stay tuned here for a bit. Okay, we are back. What's up, everybody? All right, so like I said, we're just keeping an eye on these storms. We got a decent amount of lightning. That's for sure. I mean, look at that lightning all scattered over this these severe storm. Well, non-severe storms. Right now, they're below severe limits, and I think that's partly because of this trough that's starting to really catch up with this system. And let's take a look at that really quick. Let me get the models up, and I'll show you guys kind of what I'm talking about here. Let's get pip the weather. So we'll kind of look at the models here just for a second, just to kind of see what we're looking at. All right, perfect. Let's go to severe weather. Let's go to, where is it? Reflectivity. And I don't know if that really shows it. Let me try this one. No, it doesn't really show it. Maybe you'll try temperature. No, temperature's not going to show it. I'm trying to find where you see the see the high pressure and all that, but we'll just go here. Go to reflectivity. All right, so let me kind of show you guys what I'm thinking is going on here. All right, cool. Okay, so as you can see here, so earlier on today, actually, we did have some storms form near southwest Indiana. And the reason why they didn't really form is because, well, you can't really see on the, the model here, but we have a cold front that is draped across, parts of Ohio Valley that's going to push this whole entire system to the east southeast. We have a southern mode here that's not really, doing much severe weather-wise right now, but as we know with severe weather, anything can happen. So let's just go up in the models a little bit. So this is the next couple hours, according to the newest model run. So see how it kind of congeals like that? And that's kind of the big reason why I don't think the tornado threat, the hail threat's going to be a big factor, is because there's a lot of clustering, and this kind of turns to more of a QLCS, which is a quasi-linear convective system. A QLCS, in the simplest terms, is when you have, semi-discrete and discrete supercells that, have embedded supercells inside the line, and the squall line forms, and you have a stationary front that kind of forms near the stationary, warm sector boundary, and that creates a line of storms that could still produce tornadoes, and we see a lot of this in the springtime, that still produces tornadoes overnight. So let's say you have a setup in Kansas, right? Let's say they start off as supercells, clusters. Eventually, as the cold front advances, that is going to mix the atmosphere in a way to where those storms start bunching up and congealing into a line of storms. And you'll have sometimes semi-discrete storms in the line that produce tornadoes. So even if this doesn't do that, this could still produce some very strong winds. And we can look here. Let me just kind of look at the edge of the line at the models here just really fast. I mean, marginal tornadoes. See, so this is the hodograph. I'm not going to really talk about this much, but I just want to show you guys. When you have a curved hodograph, that usually shows that the atmosphere is conducive enough to support, supercells, and as well as the, structure of a supercell that you want. So there could still be a tornado in this cluster that produced a brief tornado earlier. So I just wanted to show you that really fast. I'm back to this now. So just a little bit of science behind everything that's going on today, because this setup is very, very interesting for a fall setup. So, like you can see here, there's one line of clusters behind it, and there's one ahead of it. And eventually, that's going to catch up with this line, and this, I think, is going to either A, fizzle out, or it's going to become the next severe threat as it moves to the east southeast, and then this is going to move more south. So, it's a very much conditional setup in a way. All right, let's take a look and see what this is doing now. This near southeast of Wilson, northern Cannon counties, moving east at 40 miles per hour. So yeah, winds up to 50 in Payne-Size Hail. So it's really close to being within severe limits. So definitely gonna still be keeping an eye on this on these clusters here. So like I say, if you're near the Belk area, Shady Grove, Das, Darky Springs, Doyle. If you're in those areas, just be advised you have pretty strong wind gusts heading your direction, as well as penny-sized hail, possibly. Let's take a look at the. Where is it? I don't know if I have. Yeah, VIL. This shows the. Okay, maybe a little bit of light hail here, just west of Watkins. So we'll see about that. This usually shows the amount or the strength of the precipitation. So if you have these higher like whites and reds, see how it's like it gets purple over here and red in this top section. If you have that, possibly you could have hail, some very heavy hail and volume falling down. That's what VIL is in basic terms. Now there's more to it, obviously, but that's just what that is in basic terms. Let's see. That's okay. I thought something went SVR for a second. So, like I said, if you're in the Doyle area, near the, I'd probably say a little bit north of 705. I definitely keep an eye on this storm. Still a very strong thunderstorm, even though it's no longer severe right now, but it could be severe again. So, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm looking at the live right now, so just ask away. We are here to answer questions and to help everybody stay safe. All right, give me 1 second. Okay. Awesome. So, like I said, we're watching this here. We are keeping an eye on the weather here in Tennessee. Could still see some severe weather down here. I don't really know if there's going to be severe weather down in Alabama, honestly, unless this line/cluster starts evecting more southeast and south, possibly. But for right now, it's going to be moving to the east-southeast direction. So I could see maybe some cells kind of come into the border and out, but I think by the time they get down here, they might be just some rain and lightning, possibly. So we'll have to keep an eye. Like I said, sometimes these systems are very unpredictable. Like the models may show one thing, and they might do something completely different. And that just reminds me too, guys. If you have multiple ways to receive alerts tonight, please have so. Doesn't matter if it's your weather radio, if it's your meteorologist, if it's Facebook, if it's here on YouTube. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive weather warnings tonight. That's very important, very vital for you to keep in mind there. So, just a heads up. Like I said, trying to see if there's any other storms that we can talk about here. Let's look over here. Is there a radar I can look that's near there? Not really. Let's try this one. Morristown. Nope. Oh, looks like we've got some storms here near eastern Kentucky. Let's talk about these really fast. Okay, so it looks like we have a couple decent looking cells here near Island City. Is that Kentucky or West Virginia? Looks like it is Kentucky. So if you're near that area, could get some decent wind as well. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's mostly going to be gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Pea-sized hail, so don't need to really worry about the hail, but you need to worry about the wind definitely if you're in this area here. East of Island City, Conkling, Ricetown, Lucky Fork, Mistletoe, Whoopflera. If you're in these areas, definitely be keeping an eye on the sky. And then also, this storm here looks pretty decent. See, this one Same thing, 50-mile-per-hour winds near the Owsley, Estill, Jackson, Rockcastle, Breathitt, and Southern Wolf counties in Kentucky. So if you're in those areas, definitely be keeping an eye. These storms could still produce some pretty decent lightning. I mean, look at these lightning markers, guys. Definitely some decent lightning. So I'd be keeping an eye on those storms also. Let's just look here really fast. I can't really see the radar. There's not. Let me see if I can use the Nashville one. It's the closest one. All right, you can kind of see that. There you go. That's better than nothing. Let's see here. So this one shows wind gusts up to 40 in pea-sized hail. So still some pretty decent wind gusts. Could still blow down some some branches. Maybe some tree limbs that are weaker and inundated with water. So, but I think the speed of this whole entire line is going to be good for the flooding aspect. I mean, there might be some localized flooding, but at least for prolonged flooding, it's not going to be anything like it was in the spring. But you will have a decent amount of rain, no matter what. So definitely be keeping an eye on that. Like I said, we're just keeping an eye on the sky here. And yep, looks like we got this line coming in behind it, like I was saying earlier. So if you're near the Fairview area, Bellevue, Brentwood, Franklin again could get some decent wind and maybe some hail out of this little cluster here. So again, if you're living near the Franklin Spring Hill area, um, keep an eye on these storms coming in. Could have some decent wind, maybe 30, 40, 50 mile per hour gusts. I I would definitely be keeping an eye on those for sure. Doesn't really tell me, but anywhere from 55 to 70. See, right there, as the Mexico discussion says. So definitely keeping an eye on that. All right, let me switch to here, and you guys can go ahead and watch. Let me put that away. Get rid of that. There you go. You guys can see it. Whoopsie, didn't mean to do that. All right. Alrighty, we are still here, guys. Like I said, still keep an eye on this storm here. New update here at 5:30 p.m. Central. Wait, that's not the newest one. Hold on. All right, well this just expired, so they're gonna come out with a new advisory for the storm. They might actually not, honestly, but we'll see. Um, they're probably gonna make a new box if anything. I'm not really seeing a lot of rotation. Let me take a look again. Yeah, it's very broad. It's not looking like there's much rotate. I mean, oh wait, hold on here. Well, look at this, guys. Right near Fosterville, could have some possible rotation just near Short Creek and Plainview. So if you're in the area, I would definitely be seeking shelter. Even though this most likely could be just broad rotation, it could still be something we need to keep an eye on. So if you're near the Plainview, Short Creek area, just be advised that you do have some rotation that could possibly be tightened up just to the north of you. This will be heading across. Oh, look at that new scan. So yeah, south of Plainview, west of Gosberg. If you are near those areas, definitely be keeping an eye. This will be crossing over the Hoover Gap and I-41, as well as Interstate 24. So definitely, if you're near those areas, definitely make sure you try to get home and safe, just in case, this could be something. You never know. Sometimes the radar picks up that this is hail. Sometimes this could actually be rotation. Let me take a look at the velocity, or the reflectivity. I mean, it definitely has a look. I mean, you could see almost like it's definitely embedded into this whole cluster here. So could see something possibly in this area here, just east of Fostersville. So definitely gonna be keeping an eye on that for sure. Let's take a look at the correlation coefficient. Yeah, I'm not seeing much there. So most likely just some broad rotation, but definitely be keeping an eye on it for sure. If you're south of Big Springs, I would definitely be keeping an eye. Let's see if they updated this. They have not. They dropped it completely. So it looks like we'll be watching these storms up here. It looks like up near Albany in Kentucky. So 50-mile-per-hour winds, 40-mile-per-hour winds. So yeah, keep an eye on those. But I want to really keep an eye on this right here. I mean, this is something we need to definitely keep a close eye on. Let's go back. Yeah. So like I said, if you're near the Gosberg, Fudge around, these areas need to really keep an eye. I don't know if there's any chasers near this area. I don't see any. And yeah, there's a couple near Murfreesboro. So we'll see what happens there. We will see what happens there, guys. All right. So from what I'm seeing, I think this is just broad rotation. I don't think there's a tornado there, but looking at the couplet, yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. Joey should be getting on a little bit. Maybe he'll give us some insight on what he's seeing on his end. Like I said, I mean, look at these winds, guys. I mean, what is that like? That's like 40-mile-per-hour winds, 50-mile-per-hour. There's some pretty strong winds in this divergent couplet, I guess you could say. So if you're near the Guideville, Clearmont, Davenport areas, you're probably getting some pretty rough winds from this cluster coming in. Yeah, look at that. Definitely getting some pretty intense winds. It looks like there's some raw rotation here just east of Callan. So maybe watch something there as well. Like I said, just wow. Definitely some intense winds coming in. For sure. Let's take a look back here. I mean, yeah. Oh, look at this area here. We could have something here as well. Possibly. Like I said, guys, sometimes these could be rotations. Sometimes it's just, anomalous propagations or red herrings on radar in a way. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Let's see. Do we have anything up here we can look at? Nope. Not yet. Not yet. Oh, is that a new severe thunderstorm? Or is that just part of the tornado watch box? No, just part of the box. I got excited for a tornado warning. Or a severe thunderstorm warning. I thought there was one, but no. No severe thunderstorm warning. Just, you know. Just a tornado watch. Okay, let's go back here. Yeah. Yep, so we're keeping an eye on possibly 1, 2, and then this area for the winds. So definitely keep an eye on those 3 areas there. All right. Let's take a look at the reflectivity again. Yeah, I mean, this area really looks decent. This one, I don't know. That might just be propagation. Like I said, guys, radar can sometimes be confusing because sometimes you'll have an area that looks very closely to a tornado, and it's just sometimes birds. Sometimes it's just, the radar bending and refracting the wrong way. And because of like the radar being behind the storms, we can't get a very accurate shot of what's actually going on. So sometimes radar can be very hit or miss on what data we're actually getting back. So that's why once you get closer to like this radar here, up near where is that gonna be, like Huntsville, I'd say. Let's see what they're saying, because this is kind of near it, but let's kind of see what this radar is saying. I mean, yeah. So I mean, they got the wind line here over here a little bit. So yeah. Oh, look at that. Very, very interesting. So like I said, the radars differ a lot of the times. You'll see that when you really study into like meteorology and radar. They will differ quite a bit sometimes. So that is that. Let's look up here and see if we got something. This one looks like it could be maybe rotation. Not really. Very broad, if anything. I mean, everything's pretty much looking south of this, to be honest with you guys. I'm not really seeing a lot of intense storms. I mean, there's probably some good hail in that, but Other than that, everything's gonna be south of this. This whole line is catching. Ooh, hold on. Let's take a look at the new scan here. Okay. I don't know. I mean, just look at those winds. These winds are pretty intense. See that bright red, guys? That is your outbound winds. That's the winds pulling away from the radar. So, very, very strong winds near Centertown. If you're northeast of Centertown, might be a little windy, just a little bit, just a little windy. Of course, just make sure you're, you know, staying safe out there. Like I said, lightning is definitely still very dangerous in this predicament. Um, so make sure that you are not outside, in 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, just standing out there. We don't want that. So stay safe, like always, and be 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 vigilant. All right, so I'm not really seeing a lot here besides these two storms. Let's go back up here and see what we got. Yeah, I mean, that's a decent looking storm right there. Let's see this one. What does it say here? 40-mile-per-hour winds, speed size sail. This will be coming to the Fitchburg, Patsy, Pilot areas here in eastern Kentucky. And then this one down here. Yeah, 50-mile-per-hour winds. So, like I said, the SPC pretty much agrees with what the storms are doing, is that it's going to be mostly a wind threat for the rest of the night. That's pretty much what I'm thinking for everything I'm seeing right now live. So, that is pretty much what we got, guys. Like I said, a lot of rain everywhere. I mean, look how far this rain goes, all the way from Charleston all the way down to Middle Tennessee. That's quite the cluster we got going on of storms and all that. So, yep. I don't know. This is really catching my attention right here near Gosberg. Just the way that looks, I don't know. This could definitely be something. So, we'll be right back. I'm going to take a little break here, and we'll let you guys watch the radar here on the reflectivity. So, stay safe, and we'll be back in just a minute. All right. All right, guys. Well, while we kind of wait and see what happens with these storms, let's go ahead and take a look at the newest Euro model. See what that's doing. Um, because I kind of want to see what they're thinking for the newest this cold front coming in. So let's take a look at the Euro 18Z that just came out. So here it is. Let me transition back to me. All right, so here's what we got here. There you go. That's better. So as you can see here, we have this low that's kind of coming in, and this is what's associated with all this severe weather. I mean, this is going to bring everything down to the east-southeast, and we could possibly see some more severe weather on Sunday here for portions of the Gulf Coast states, portions of Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, maybe some parts of Georgia. And if you can see here, this is that low that coming down from Alberta that's going to really bring in some snow. And these two are almost going to merge, but this one's going to be the one to watch. And you'll see in just a minute. So you'll see this one come down. You'll kind of see this one move off to the northeast, bring some snow to parts of Ontario and Quebec. And then you have this low coming down here. That brings some snow conditions to portions, some flurries to Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Maybe get some lake effect snow possibly. And then you could see, parts of southeast Michigan, Buffalo, parts of Ontario again getting another round of snow. Again, Quebec maybe another round. And then look at this big plunge of cold air just coming all the way down as far as Texas and Louisiana. This is going to bring, like I said, in many of these live streams, 20 to 30 degrees possibly below average temperatures. I mean, look how far south it goes. Florida, we're expecting highs in the low 60s on Tuesday and the high 50s possibly. And lows close to 38 degrees here. It is going to be very chilly for us. Up north, you guys are like, but that's Florida weather. Sometimes we, even when it's 70 degrees out, we put our jackets on. So that's always how it's been. And here's temperature anomalies. So like I said, a lot of areas, negative 12 to minus 16 degrees below average. Look at these, parts of western North Carolina, even, near the foothills and the mountains. I mean, we can see temperatures pretty close to 17 degrees Fahrenheit. If you look down here in Florida near my area, you could see temperatures near 54 degrees. Is this during the day? This is not. This is early. This is in the evening on Tuesday. So 54 degrees near my area at 8 o'clock at night. That is just wow. Morning temperatures. Let's just take a look at that. I mean, look at this swath of purple. That's, minus 15, minus 20 degrees below average. 38 degrees Fahrenheit. That is cold. So, I just want to show you guys that. Let's take a look back at our storms here. And let's see what they are doing. Yeah, I just don't see a lot of rotation, to be honest with you guys. This still, possibly. But other than that, mostly going to be outflow and wind dominant for the most of the night is what I'm thinking. But I could be wrong. We hope you guys are staying safe. If you're just now joining us, we are looking at the severe weather here in portions of Kentucky and Tennessee. We have a slight risk today in portions for those areas. Mostly going to be a wind and tornado threat for the rest of the evening. Still have a tornado watch till 10 p.m. Central, so still have plenty of time for storms to start getting their act together again here. So we will be taking a look at that as we get through the evening. Look at that. Got possibly some heavy rain, some hail, 64. Let's see the VIL really fast, see if that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, maybe some hail right near west of Jaeger, probably near Jaeger now because the radar loop probably is a minute late now, so not that. There you go. So yeah, if you're near the Jaeger area, definitely be indoors. I'm not sure what the hail is. It's probably below severe limits because it's not SVR'd, but that's just my process of thinking. So we will see what we got. Welcome in, Joey. We got Joey, the admin, 100 in. How you doing? Oh, 1 second. We got Joey here. Welcome in.
Thanks, Rob. Great to be on the show tonight. I know we've had a couple different storms this evening, and still tracking that line of storms moving through Tennessee.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have a couple areas of rotation possibly. I was looking at here earlier. One of them is over here near Fudge Around. I mean, this is pretty far from the radar, but what do you think? You think could be some rotation? Or you think it's mostly radar, red herring?
Let me take a look at this here. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Um, I mean, it is a little bit far from the radar. I'm gonna flip. Are you coming off of Nashville?
National. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna flip over to Huntsville because that's might be a little bit
yeah. I
closer
was looking at that
to
earlier.
that area.
It looks kind of similar, but I wanted your opinion on it.
Yeah, I think coming off of the Nashville radar there, yeah, kind of right around west of Hollow Springs, I can see that area of rotation.
Yeah,
So there could be maybe even some mid-level rotation kind of within low to mid-level rotation within that. The storm itself um doesn't look super impressive.
no,
I mean, we're looking at, about 54, 55 DBZs, base of about
yeah,
4,200 feet. So, I mean, you know, it's, the rotation that I'm seeing here isn't super strong. It's kind
no,
of, 26, 30 miles per hour at about 3,700 feet. So
yeah.
it's a little bit high. The
Elevated. Yeah,
Yeah, the inbound rotation on its weak, so it's really kind of more forward flank dominant
gotcha.
on those winds that are coming in, anyways.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there could be though with it. I will say there's probably still some decent downdraft winds
Oh,
that
definitely,
that that it's picking up in there.
definitely. I mean, look
So
at
this could easily. Is there
yeah.
any special weather statement on this at
There
all
is
right
not.
now?
There was one earlier near the Spencer McMinnville area, but that has gone down to below severe limits. There is one now that just came here in for Franklin. We were looking at those storms earlier that were coming in from the northwest
Oh
side.
yeah, I see that Franklin storm there.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow, that storm's got a looks like it's got a little bit of a hell core on it
Yeah, look at
starting to
that.
develop.
Let's take a look at the VIL really fast, see what they are looking at here. Oh, yeah. Just west of, well, probably near Leaper's Fork right now. So if you're in Leaper's Fork, probably getting some decent hail, maybe penny size or nickel size, if I had to guess. Let's see what they're saying here. Yeah, half-inch hail, 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts in the area
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like that definitely has got a little bit of a hail on there.
for sure.
So
So what are
we
you
can see
thinking
where
for the
they.
rest of the evening? You think this is mostly going to be a conditional tornado, like wind threat type of situation?
Yeah, I think we could get maybe. I mean, we're down past sunset now, so we've lost
Yeah,
any of that radiational heating,
right.
from the day and stuff like that. So I don't know if we're gonna get any more severe thunderstorm warnings out of this
No.
system or not. Um, I mean, really, you got your two main clusters left. You got this line that's kind of coming through Franklin, and then that main storm that's kind of in McMinnville. That's
Yep.
still a little bit uninhibited as it kind of marches off to the east. So
A
we'll
little
have
bit
to
of
kind
hail
of keep
there.
an eye on it.
Yeah.
We could get a few more hail reports.
Could.
Even that
Definitely.
McMinnville storm, kind of north of there, is looking kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Um, Rob, can you share your screen on here?
Yes, I can. Let me give it a second. Hold on.
So, I mean, really, those are the main two areas. I'm kind of surprised though, like really, northern Alabama and some of those areas that we were looking at last night on the models. None of that has really panned out at all.
No, I was
Um,
saying
I'm
that
gonna
too.
I'm I'm gonna take a look here at the latest HRRR,
Yeah, copy
um,
that.
the sub hourly model, just kind of see what it's showing as far as if there's going to be any development.
Yeah.
Well, there is in I'm just looking at the sub hourly, and it looks like we get a little bit maybe of some scattered convection across far northern Alabama.
Copy that.
Maybe around. This is around like 21Z.
Okay, so that's like
So
what is that like 21Z? Wouldn't that be like before 8?
yeah, eight central, in
Yeah.
about 2.5 hours. This
Okay,
is
yeah.
what
Yeah, cuz I thought
that's the 00Z.
04 was midnight, so that's why I was
Yeah,
asking. Yeah,
yeah. 04 is midnight Eastern, 11 p.m. Central.
gotcha. Okay, copy
Yeah.
that.
So if you're talking 21, 22, that's about 10 o'clock. So
Y-
10 o'clock
yeah,
Eastern. So we kind of have, yeah, around 9, 10 p.m. It looks like maybe a little bit of activity just trying to kind of fire off across far northern Alabama.
copy that.
Um, so there could be some scattered convection. I'm sharing my screen there.
All right.
This is the HRRR hourly screen. So this is 22Z. So you can see here across northern Alabama, there's these, maybe a few small ice kind of isolated cells, and then this big line kind of congeals maybe over toward Lenore City, up toward Johnson City, so far eastern Tennessee, coming over uh, into western North Carolina. So, but looking back at the current radar, um,
Yeah.
I'm not obviously there's not really much going on here across far south central Tennessee or northern
No,
Alabama,
not
but that's
really.
not to say that there that there won't be later on.
That's true. Yeah, I was looking at that also. Do you think that I mean, so I was looking at the radar earlier up near like Indiana. There was a few decent cells, but I think they fizzle out because of this cold front advancing. You think that's gonna happen to these northern clusters? They kind of
Yeah,
fizzle
yeah, I
out.
definitely think the northern side is going to get undercut. Yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely, because
agree
it's way outpacing that moisture return.
for sure.
Let's take a look at our current. Let me take a look at our current dew points, so we can kind of see where this is at. Let me come back here, and let's come to dew points. Oh yeah, look at this. Um, so you can see here that moisture is pretty much now all east of Indiana, kind of over in Ohio. We're looking, let me put inspector, here we go. I mean, dew points are in about 50s, in the 50s around Cincinnati, but you go over toward Indianapolis, you're all the way down in the 40s. So all the moisture's already moved east. But down here in southern Kentucky, still through Nashville, still dew points around 61 degrees. So that's
Oh, copy
why,
that.
they still have this tornado watch going till 10 o'clock. I do think it is warranted.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of be keeping an eye on the southwest side of that tornado watch for some
Yeah.
development
I was thinking that
in the
also.
next in the next hour or so. We'll kind of have to see what happens with that. Uh, so yeah,
Yeah, 10-4 on that. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens here. Like I said, the night is definitely not over, so could definitely still see some severe weather pop up.
yeah. I mean, even keeping an eye on that storm in and around
Oh, that's better. Oh.
Franklin, that one's kind of starting to beef up a little bit. It's putting out a good bit of lightning on it.
Yeah,
Just kind of south of Franklin.
I would agree.
Um,
Oh, so Joey, I fixed my screen so that when I share your screen, it'll show. I didn't have
oh,
it set up.
fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Sweet.
show that now. Hold on. Let me see if you can see on your side. All right. There you go. It should show now.
Okay.
So just check the stream, make sure it shows. I
Let
think
me
it should show at least some of it. I don't know if it's the whole screen. It probably just a little bit of it. We'll have to figure that out
pull it
next
up
time.
here. Oh yeah, no, it shows the whole thing.
Nice,
Yes,
perfect.
perfect. Yeah.
There you go.
So, as you can see here, this is what we were talking about earlier with those dew points.
Yep.
So, still plenty of moisture here across Tennessee, even down into northern Alabama, even over here into Atlanta. We're right about 61, 62. But those storms that were up here in Indiana,
Right.
you could see that moisture surging off to the east,
Yeah, it's pushing down.
and it's going to, yeah, exactly. It's going to continue drifting off to the southeast, and we're going to see the dew points, continuing to drop, especially here as we get closer to midnight. With that front slowly advancing, eroding that moisture away for sure.
Yeah, copy that.
So, but kind of going back to the radar, the area that I'm keeping an eye on, Rob, is kind of some of these storms here that are just now starting to form here, kind of near from Savannah up
Yep.
toward Mount Pleasant. I'm going to see what some of this activity does in the next hour or so, kind of on the fringe of the southwestern side of our tornado watch, as it kind of comes in, because that still has to kind of traverse off to the east
Right.
and has plenty of moisture content, as we know, to work with. So, like a storm like this one right here, right over the Flatwoods area, it's kind of all to itself.
Yeah,
So
I
we'll
agree.
definitely have to kind of see what happens with that.
Copy that. Thank you, Jerry. All right, so that's what we're looking at right now. Oh, look at that! They just issued a new special estimate on that storm we were looking at earlier.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Let me flip back over here.
Strong thunderstorm impact Van Buren and northeastern Warren counties through 7:45. Strong thunderstorm near McMinnville, moving east 45. Wind gusts up to 50 at Apogee. So maybe we'll see a new SVR if that continues to produce higher amounts of the criteria we need for SVR.
Yep, that is definitely looking like it's a possibility.
Has a really good look to it.
Yeah,
For
it's definitely looking more like almost like it's getting a little bit of a Boeing segment to it.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
There on kind of the southeast side
Oh,
again.
look at that.
So yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's kind of forming a little bit of a gust front, if you will.
Yeah,
Um,
64-mile-per-hour winds according to the radar.
yeah. Just a reminder for everyone that is watching this tornado watch here for portions of Tennessee and areas that does continue till 10 p.m. this evening.
Copy that.
So uh, just be mindful of that our watch will continue here uh, till 10 o'clock.
10-4. We are keeping an eye on it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think today was going to be a big severe day, but I definitely thought we would get some sort of severe weather event. Nevertheless, I mean, whether it was just a brief spin up, couple decent swaths of severe winds or hail. So
Yeah.
Did,
So did you see we got another special weather statement up here in Kentucky?
oh, okay.
Um, up on this storm there, yeah.
Oh, which
So
one
let's
is
see what
that?
they're saying with that. Yeah, that one there on the northern side.
All right.
That one right there that you're looking at.
Okay.
So that's for 40-mile-per-hour winds and possibly pea-size hail. So that's for southern Powell, Estill, south central Menifee, northern Lee, and western Wolfe counties there till 8:15 p.m. Eastern. So
Copy
that
that.
goes for another 12 minutes. So
Got
keeping
this.
an eye on that one.
This one over here is looking pretty good. It's got a Boeing segment looking appearance to it.
Yeah, it's kind of the northern side of that line there that
Yeah,
we've been keeping an eye on.
for sure.
Did they just put an update out on this tornado watch?
I don't know if they did or not. I know they had a new Mezzo update, but I don't
Yeah.
know if they Had a new tornado watch update. Let's see, did they?
Oh yeah,
Um,
here we go. Tornado watch outline update. Tornado watch
I'm gonna share your stream.
635 remains in effect. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah,
Um,
I
it
got you up.
remains in effect until 10 p.m. for these following locations. Alabama counties included are Jackson, Lauderdale, Limestone, and Madison.
Copy
So
that.
I think they may have just added those counties
I
to
think
the watch.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they just added those counties here in northeast Alabama to the watch. Because that's what I was saying earlier. We've got to keep an eye on these storms kind of here southwest of Franklin.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, so this does include the Huntsville metro area. Also includes just west of Chattanooga, Tennessee, that whole I-65 corridor between Huntsville and Spring Hill, Tennessee. All of that is still within the active part of this tornado watch. So
Copy that.
Nashville is no longer included in that tornado watch. Obviously, we've seen that part of the watch has gotten trimmed back as now the storms have moved east of Nashville. Franklin also now coming out of that tornado watch, it looks like, as well,
Copy that.
with those storms now just off to the east of Franklin. So,
All right.
let's see here the.
So be keeping an eye on that here.
Yeah. Yeah, the update. They just did that county's update. So that's what that tornado watch update was about.
Gotcha. Okay.
So currently we have no severe thunderstorm warnings on the board and 4 special weather statements. One in Tennessee and 3 here in Kentucky. So that's
Copy
kind of the
that.
broad view there that
Yeah.
we're looking at here of our storm system.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. I have your stream up, by the way, still. So, all right.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. Definitely, could definitely get some severe weather for Alabama, northern Alabama still.
Yeah, see if SPC's got anything. So far reports for today, we've got in 8 wind reports and 2 hail reports. Believe it or not, we've actually gotten quite a few 5 wind reports
Wow.
in Montana.
Oh,
I'm not
interesting.
sure if you saw that earlier today. But yeah, we've had 5 up in Montana. Obviously, these 2 hail reports were quarter-inch hail. They're in Davison County, Tennessee. But up near Glacier County, Montana, the weather station at Cutbank Airport in Glacier County, Montana reported 58 mile per hour wind speed. There was a Mesonet station up there that recorded in Teton County, Montana, 70 mile per hour wind speed. Another one that had 58 mile per hour wind speed, 60 mile per hour there in Pondera County, and in Tennessee, in Davison County, again, we had that 60 plus mile per hour wind gust reported there in Bellevue by broadcast media and storm chasers. There were trees down reported in that area. And then our most recent report is in near Highway 431 on the southeast side of Bellevue. There were trees reported down there 4 miles southwest of Forest Hills. Speaking of new severe thunderstorm
Oh,
warning,
here we go.
just issued here. This is that storm right around Franklin that we were just talking about, folks. So this does include Murfreesboro. This is for 1-inch hail and 60 mile per hour winds. This thunderstorm warning does include Murfreesboro again, and the eastern side of Franklin is included in this as well. So again, this goes until 7:45 p.m. Central Time, 7:45 Central Time, Central Rutherford County and southeastern Williamson County there in Tennessee. You are now under a severe thunderstorm warning. So be sure to move inside, away from windows. 60-mile-per-hour
Copy that.
winds, and yeah, there's definitely likely some hail
Yeah,
that we're
I
seeing
was
on this
thinking that
storm.
also.
Let's take a look at our vertical integrated liquid here. Oh yeah, look at that. Just kind of
Yep.
southeast of Epworth area, kind of seems where where that hill core is located right now. So this is basically traveling basically right along Interstate 840. So if you're traveling on Interstate 840 here between Rudderville over toward Trumas and those areas between Murfreesboro. Uh, be mindful. There's a decent little hail core here. You might run into some hail, especially if you're heading west on 840 there in Tennessee. Hail core likely. Um, Near that intersection there of US 640 and 31A. US 6 sorry, excuse me. Interstate 840 and 31A. Interstate 840 and 31A.
Copy that.
So, we are back on the board. That's why I'm like can't go to sleep yet,
Nope.
guys. We
We are
still
back.
have
Yep.
severe weather ongoing here in Tennessee this evening.
Copy that. Yeah. So we'll be keeping an eye on that here. I knew there was gonna be another one. I just
Check
like
this
there's
out.
no way there's just gonna be just one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I got it to where they could see your entire screen. I fixed the Discord layout.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. I'm pushing this out on social media,
10-4.
letting them know that we're keeping an eye on this severe storms in Tennessee.
Yeah. Also, Joey, I'm not sure if you heard earlier. Couple chasers near the. Let's see, what area was that? Give me 1 second. It was. North. Trying to remember what area it was, but they were talking about a brief tornado just north of. I think it was Franklin. I want to say right where that SVR is now, just east, just north of it.
Yes, I did. I did see that. I did see that.
Yeah.
I was watching that storm earlier. I think it was like when I was eating dinner earlier.
Yep.
Yeah, just kind of between Franklin and Brentwood there,
Yeah.
just west of Interstate 65. I think it was here around like Hidden Valley Estates or something like that in
Yeah.
that
Something like
area.
that.
So, but this storm here, I think that let's see here real quick.
Look at that hail core. Wow.
Yeah, it's moving. They do have moving due east at about 45 miles per hour. So this thing's basically going to travel right here along Interstate 64. That's what I was saying. This intersection is basically about to get blasted right there
Yeah.
around a Triune.
Yep.
Triune and just point south. You've got the Golf and Field Club down there, just north of Kirkland, Tennessee, kind of northwest of Patterson. You're probably Patterson and some of these points east are probably starting to get. Oh yeah,
Yep.
look at this wind right here.
Look at that. You can see the linear wind
Yeah.
signature on that, like the divergent couplet.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is gonna be heading right north of Rockville and Overall, also. City of Overall, that is. But Murfreesboro maybe could see something from this severe weather?
I think the core of this storm is going to pass just on the south side of Murfreesboro,
Yeah, I
kind of
agree.
from the way it's tracking. It is moving east, but it's moving a little bit more,
South.
really east southeast
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah,
When
so
you look at
I'm
the
thinking
progression
more
of this,
like Joyceland, Stonebrook overall that area.
yeah. But there's definitely a big surge of winds that we're seeing here
Yeah,
develop
look at that.
on this
See the
storm
loop there.
coming into College Grove, Cedar Grove, these areas,
Yep.
Windrow, all these areas are about to get those 60-mile-per-hour winds that this is warned for. So
Copy that.
it's definitely gonna be pretty intense here.
It's gonna be a long night for some of those folks there in the major city and surrounding areas, but depending on the hail and if there's any rotation that's embedded into this line. So make sure, just a reminder, you guys all have your multiple ways to receive alerts tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Very important.
Because especially with time change now and it getting dark
Yeah,
so early, you
exactly.
really don't have a way to be able to go out and see what's taking place. So
No.
this is and radar is great for that. It kind of allows us to see different things at night, but you also have to be very anticipatory with radar because the data that we're looking at now this is 4 or 5 minutes old. So this storm's already 5 minutes further east.
Right.
So this is likely like right now coming into the Jackson Ridge area and Windrow probably getting hit. So if you're kind of here around Crescent and just points south of Murfreesboro, you've probably got another maybe 10 minutes or so till this is going to be coming through your area. Really, I think the main wind threat is going to be on the southern side of this warning, and the hail threat is more along and south of uh, Interstate 840 and South Road 96 that comes
Yeah.
out of Murfreesboro. I think that's kind of where the hail threat's going to be is
Yep.
right along that line there, South Road 96.
I agree.
So yeah. So there it is. There's our hail core again coming through the McDaniel area and Triune areas. And that's going to be basically tracking off to the east southeast here over the next 20, 30 minutes. So I'm hoping that hail core kind of stays
I
outside
think we have
of
a new
Murfreesboro.
Sorry to interrupt you. I think we have a new
Go ahead.
I think we have a new severe thunderstorm warning just southeast of that. This is for the McMinnville area that we were looking at earlier.
Oh, yeah. Yep, there it is. Okay, so we have two SVRs on the board now. Yeah, that's right there on the edge of that tornado watch. Yeah, Pikeville.
Yep.
I know exactly where that's at because Dayton and Pikeville and that area. Yeah, I used to work up there in Dayton, which is in the southeast side of that warning. So looks like there's a little bit of a developing hail core on that, Rob.
Copy that.
With that and this warning here, I'll just stay on your screen there. I'll let you know. So this warning, yeah, Ray County, West Central, Meigs County, Northern Sequatchie County, and Bledsoe County there in eastern Tennessee. This goes until 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central as it kind of crosses the timeline there. So parts of this is in Eastern time, parts of it in Central time. So 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, penny-size hail, radar indicated rotation, max hail size right now showing about 0.75 inches. The storm is moving off to the east at about 96 degrees, so not due east. Again, just slightly south of due east, about 6 degrees south. at about 45 miles per hour. So, yeah, starting to see a little bit of a hail core develop here on this on that storm there, just south
Yep.
of Spencer, just south of Spencer, Tennessee. There's a bit of a hill core starting to develop on that. So
Copy that.
this is going to come right through Pikeville.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm looking at
that's
that too.
Highway 30. I've driven on that South Road 30. Very mountainous road there that connects Pikeville over to Dayton. There's
Right,
a Dayton mountains and stuff like that through there. So
right near West
make
End.
yeah, honestly, this storm will probably get a little bit of orographic uplift
Yep.
with it. So, meanwhile, the Western SVR, that hail core has weakened a little bit, which is good news. Just south of Interstate 840. So, Patterson, Tennessee. This is going to come toward Windrow is where that hill core is going to be moving through. And then also still seeing those 60-mile-per-hour winds moving through Jackson Ridge over toward Rockvale, and eventually up here toward Overall.
Yep.
Those areas there on South Road 99 and some of those neighborhoods that are in there. You got some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts knocking on your doorstep here in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Copy that.
So
All
yeah,
right.
we're currently at 2 severe thunderstorm warnings on the board.
Yes, sir.
Folks, if you're just tuning into the live stream, thanks for joining me and Rob this evening as we cover this severe weather um, across Tennessee. We've got 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that are moving through
Pretty
Tennessee.
pretty fast complex too of these storms. They're moving at about 45, 50 miles per hour. This cold front's gonna be, the more southeast it goes, the more quicker they're gonna go and dissipate. But for now, we got that warm sector, and it's gonna be something we need to keep an eye on here overnight.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
A lot of lightning. If you look, I got my screen up here.
Yeah, I
Um,
see your screen.
if you look over here, we got quite a bit of lightning here, right where the storm is here that we were just talking about near Pikeville, probably in Pikeville by now, just on the west side. So there's definitely some decent lightning embedded into these supercells that are in this cluster. So just be mindful of that also. But obviously not as much lightning as you'll see in the spring systems, right, Joey?
Yeah, yeah, not quite as much for sure, for sure.
And that's another thing too. Now that a lot of these places here get dark around what 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So you don't have
Around
that.
5:30. Around
Yes,
5:30. You don't have as long heating of the day.
exactly. That's what I was just gonna say. You don't have that like you do in the spring when sunset could be like 7 o'clock. So 6, 7 o'clock. So that's another thing.
Yep.
Makes a big difference. Yeah, if I had to guess where it's at, I'd say somewhere between Griffith. Yep, there it is, just near Griffith and West End, probably just coming in now. The leading edge of it. Let's take a look at this other SVR here and see what it's doing. Here in Murfreesboro. Oh, look at that. Looks like it's just now getting into
Oh
Murfreesboro.
yeah. Yeah, just on the south side there.
Yes, sir. I don't see as much of a hail core as I saw before, but could definitely still be there. Maybe a little bit. Looks like right here near Riverdale, Joyceland, overall, all these areas going to be seeing some heavy rain, some lightning, some gusty winds. So, some hail as well. So make sure that you are, indoors, not outdoors, if you can be, of course.
Yeah, and just a reminder that severe thunderstorm warning there for Murfreesboro that does continue here till 7:45 Central. So it goes for about another 20 minutes, 20 more minutes.
Copy that.
Um, really seeing that increased wind threat there, especially on the southern side of
Yeah.
that warning.
Let's take a look. Oh yeah.
So the hail threat's gone down with this storm,
Yeah.
but there's definitely still a pretty significant wind threat out there. I'm
Definitely.
kind of surprised that they made the warning as large as it is. I feel like they could have probably trimmed a little bit of the northern side
Yeah.
of that, but that may be the way that the county warning area is set up there. So
Yeah. Look at that.
yeah, very well defined wind gradient there from
For sure.
southwest to northeast with that storm. So
Especially right here near Rockville and just north of Versailles.
yeah, right there on 99.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting blasted right now.
Just a little bit of weather 101. The green winds are the inbound winds coming to the radar, and the reds are coming from the radar.
Yeah, exactly. So the in this case, this is a perfect case where you can clearly see your inflow of the storm, and then the red is that gust front, really, where the red flips the green. That's
Yep.
right where those winds are going down to the surface, pushing out of the storm, cold pool
Yep.
from the storm. Really starting to see this Pikeville storm. Go back to the Pikeville storm real quick, Rob,
All right. Let's take a look at.
because that one's really starting to put out some pretty good winds too. If you flip
Oh
over
yeah.
to
Look at that.
that, so maybe even a little bit. We'll have to keep an eye here on the next couple scans, see if there's any sort of rotation trying to develop in that storm there.
It's trying to broaden out. Yeah.
Um, but still, we've got two pretty powerful storms here moving through.
For sure.
Um,
Yeah. I don't. The hail's kind of gone down this storm here.
yeah, no, it has, It's mainly probably
Oh.
a wind gust threat
Yeah. You got
with the
a
Pikeville storm.
new. I don't know if there's a new special weather statement behind it. Let me see. 650.
I think that's the same one.
Yeah, it's the same one. I thought it was a new one that came up. All right. Well, let's see here. What about those ones up in Kentucky? Are they really doing anything? No, just special weather statements. Decent, decent.
Yeah, the one northern one's kind of fallen off.
Yeah. So
Um,
just got these two. Yep. So we still got some severe weather here for the evening. Let's see if there's anything kind of forming near Alabama right now. I'm not. I don't think there is. We got this storm over here near Mount Pleasant. Possibly could get something over here that comes southeast more. It's just south of Hohenwald,
yeah,
so could see it. Maybe this area right here on the left hand side possibly can come down. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. So this is mostly mountainous, right? This area here that's near
yeah,
Pikeville?
around Pikeville. Yeah, it's very.
Yeah.
I mean, not huge mountains, about
No.
3,000,
Yeah.
4,000 feet,
Right.
but
It's like not, the highest peaks, but they're decent.
yeah.
We also, I'm not sure if you cover this, but we also could have a potential for more severe weather Sunday for portions of Gulf Coast states, Georgia, Alabama again.
Yeah, I did have not covered that.
Let's go
So I'm
ahead and
glad you mentioned that.
do that really fast. So as you can see here, we have a marginal risk for portions. Oh, look at that! Actually, went more south. For portions of the Carolinas, coastal southeastern Virginia, most of the panhandle of Florida, and northeastern Florida, parts of Jacksonville, Titusville, maybe. So, could see some more severe weather here on Sunday as that cold front comes down in the warm sector. So, we'll see. Close low, strong double jack, sounding for plains, Gulf Coast. Yeah, so if I had to guess, probably gonna be mostly a wind and tornado threat, kind of like tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, it'll definitely be even more marginal today. I think kind of closer to the coast
Yeah,
is where you'll see that, where you
I
have
agree.
that Atlantic moisture kind of moving inland,
Mm-hmm.
almost kind of like what you would have in Florida,
Yeah.
uh, where you've got those different sea breezes. That warning for Murfreesboro has been canceled. They did just cancel that
Copy
severe
that.
thunderstorm warning that was in
Yep.
effect.
It is now off
Um,
the board.
so we are down to just one severe thunderstorm warning. Rob, I'm gonna just so you know, I am starting a second stream
All right.
as well on our main stream. So um,
Want me to end this one?
yeah, we can go ahead and end this one, and
All right.
then
Cool.
guys, we'll be on our main YouTube stream.
All right. Copy that. See you guys in just a minute.